The fastest growing social media network is Instagram, with over 1 million users just 2 months after its inception. It was a success right away. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about the addicted world of Instagram. In San Francisco, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger created Instagram. Systrom began performing engineering at night while he was working in marketing to aid with his coding education. He developed a prototype app for a concept he originally termed Bourbon, which allowed users of mobile web apps to check in at specific locations. At a party, Systrom made friends with people who worked for venture capital firms, and he convinced them to agree to a meeting to talk about Bourbon. He left his job after the first meeting, and 2 weeks later he had raised $500,000 from the businesses. All of this occurred in Silicon Valley, where people are constantly willing to put money in emerging technological firms with the knowledge that even a small number of those investments could turn out to be worth billions of dollars. The investors were completely enamored with the photo sharing part because one photo could be broadcast on a wider platform and too many people at once, while they gave little attention to the check-in feature or the virtual costs. Kevin, the founder, instructed his co-founder that all confusing functions must be eliminated from the program, with the exception of photo sharing. The co-founder began developing the initial prototype. When his partner recommended it, Kevin added filters. Even if there were other filter apps, Kevin realized that all they did was tweak photos. They didn't have a community of their own where users could share those images, and they didn't make it simple to share those images on other social networking sites. That issue would be resolved by Instagram. Kevin's background in photography made it simple because he was able to develop some filters that anyone could apply to instantly improve the appearance of their own images. On October 6, 2010, Kevin and Mike, the co-founders, released Instagram to the public after 8 weeks of development. When Instagram first appeared on the App Store, it immediately attracted 25,000 users. First of all, Instagram made it simple for people to create the artistic looks they want for their images. Second, Instagram timed it just right. The ideal setup was an iPhone 4 coupled with Instagram. However, because Kevin hadn't anticipated Instagram gaining popularity at such a rapid rate, and because of the frequent service failures caused by the influx of new users, Kevin became increasingly anxious as a result. The issue grew worse when famous people began using the app. Every time Justin Bieber posted a photo on Instagram, a new wave of likes and comments poured in, causing the systems to become overwhelmed and causing other issues like hatred and harassment. When the company reached 2 million customers, there were just 4 people working there, including the founders. The addition of celebrities did increase Instagram's appeal. In the beginning, Instagram didn't use algorithms to determine what went viral because the company believed users would manipulate the system. Instead, the company's small team hand-selected accounts and posts to promote, giving them control over who became famous or not and the ability to shape Instagram's culture based on their own preferences. The irony is that for the first few years, Instagram didn't make any money at all because they hadn't yet developed an advertising system. Instead, they were solely dependent on money from investors to fund their growth. However, all of a sudden, it seemed as though it didn't matter, due to Zuckerberg's desire to purchase Instagram. When calling Kevin, Zuckerberg was direct and said, "I've given it some thought, and I want to acquire your firm." Mark knew exactly what Kevin wanted and said that Instagram would remain independent from Facebook, so Kevin could keep running everything himself without interference, shocking many people, including Instagram's employees. Zuckerberg had offered $1 billion and claimed he felt Facebook would take Instagram to a higher level by letting them use Facebook's resources. Kevin agreed to the offer because he knew Facebook could help Instagram grow even faster, and they would benefit from Facebook's infrastructure and experiences, such as being able to use Facebook servers and moderation tools. Additionally, Kevin knew that if he didn't sell, Facebook would try to sabotage Instagram, so being on the same team and benefiting from Facebook's enormous wealth seemed like a win-win. When the acquisition took place in 2012, no one had ever paid $1 billion for a mobile app, let alone one that was only 18 months old and had virtually no business model. The majority of people found it crazy that Facebook was purchasing Instagram for $1 billion while it was still losing money. Of course, looking back, it was a great deal by 2019. Instagram's annual income of about $24 billion, or over 30% of Facebook's total revenue, indicated that Facebook now owned the leading competitor to Facebook. It was a smart move, but many users didn't like it because they thought Facebook couldn't be trusted to keep its app completely separate as it had promised. In fact, when the deal was first announced, governments all over the world looked into whether Facebook's acquisition of Instagram gave it a monopoly on social media. However, they allowed the acquisition to go through without any scrutiny. Even Chris Hughes, one of Facebook's co-founders, demanded that the agreement be rescinded, stating that, quote, "Mark's power is unprecedented and un-American, but for Instagram's small team of 13 people." Due to a change in Instagram's terms of service following the sale to Facebook, a number of news stories began to surface when Instagram claimed it now had the right to sell your photos without asking for payment or providing you with any notice, and there's no way to prevent articles like this from appearing. Because Instagram didn't require users to use their real names, it was much easier for people to create anonymous accounts. As a result, there was a huge amount of bullying, hateful, and even illegal content being posted, including a variety of scams and really extreme cases. Instagram quickly had to backtrack and change the wording, but the problems were much more serious. Terrorists were recruiting on Instagram and discreetly used hashtags to organize their posts. Numerous studies about Instagram's detrimental impacts on people's mental health began to surface, clearly demonstrating a link between Instagram use and anxiety and sadness. However, things became much worse in 2021. When the Wall Street Journal revealed that Facebook had known for years that Instagram is harmful to many users but had kept the information secret from lawmakers, the company conducted its own research and discovered that Instagram is toxic to a respectable number of users, particularly teenage girls, and that it exacerbates body image issues for 1 in 3 teenage girls. The company's research team discovered that British teenagers who were contemplating suicide could link their use of Instagram to their feelings. The majority of Instagram users were unaware that Facebook even owned the Instagram application, and in the initial years following the acquisition, Facebook had permitted Kevin to continue operating it entirely independently as agreed. There had been a few minor requests, such as Facebook asking Instagram to prevent users from using the Vine hashtag and to prevent users from using their Snapchat names on Instagram because Facebook didn't want to give competitors any visibility. The WhatsApp founders were hesitant to sell their software to Facebook, so Zuckerberg contacted Kevin to persuade them. Kevin was also urged to speak well of him in their presence. For the most part, Facebook wasn't interfering, and that was true, but over time, it became gradually more involved in Instagram, which caused a number of conflicts. It began when Zuckerberg wanted Instagram to send out more push notifications and email alerts to help boost engagement. But Kevin disagreed and said that this would be an irksome experience for users. Then, a more significant conflict arose over advertising. From a business standpoint, Zuckerberg wanted to integrate Facebook's current advertising system into Instagram so that Facebook could continue to use its highly successful ad infrastructure. However, this would have allowed anyone in the world to purchase advertisements in news feeds and target users based on their demographic interests. Kevin disagreed with this idea because he thought it would harm Instagram's brand and user experience. Kevin desired to work with a select group of Instagram-only marketers and for his advertisements to be opulent and aesthetically pleasing. The largest repercussion of all would occur when Zuckerberg began to think that Instagram was sapping Facebook's expansion. In his opinion, Instagram was the company's major app. Therefore, Zuckerberg was concerned that if it kept growing at this rate, it would undermine Facebook's success. Because of all the adjustments Zuckerberg made, as a result, Kevin eventually departed the company. Now Instagram is owned by Meta, which was previously known as Facebook, and now it's the reality. So do let us know which topic we should cover next. If you enjoyed this content, give us a like, and thank you guys so much for subscribing to our channel. I'll see you in the next one.